He will have mercy upon us all and upon those who love their ones who are still wounded and affected all their lives,
Right.
children, wives, husbands, cousins, families. The only thing we can do to be watchful from the intruders, be cautious, and defend our nation and be blessed. We are blessed to be in this place and this land called the land of the free.
And welcome back to the Faith of Our Fathers podcast. I'm Theodore, and with me, as always, Father Constantine over there. Getting ready to,
All right, Chief.
we're getting ready to, we're going to have a little special episode here in remembrance of a dark day in Oklahoma. 30 years ago, on April 19th, was the bombing at the Federal Building, the Murrah Federal Building down
1995.
1995.
1995, which this will be 30 years
It's
anniversary.
crazy.
I am 8 years old, so I was 50 years old when that took place. And how old were you
I was
then?
22, I think. Yeah.
The
Uh huh.
22.
Um, Before we
You
get
know,
going too far in this, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, push the little bell icon on there so you don't miss any of our content. And yeah, that was a weird day. I'll just tell you how I remember it. I remember at the time it had been raining a whole lot, like for a week, like thunderstorms
mm,
all the time.
mm.
And I remember waking up that morning. I had to go to school, and I hear boom, boom, and I thought, it's raining again. And I got up and looked out the window, and it was a beautiful day. You know, birds singing, sun shining. I thought, oh, that was weird. Go get gas at the gas station, and of course, everybody's going crazy. That's when I first saw it. And then,
Yeah, well, uh, that week, it is for us, it was our Holy Week.
oh, was it Holy Week then too? Yeah.
It was Holy Week. It was on Holy Monday,
Mm-hmm.
uh, on the 17th. Father Naam Tallah's wife, the Khuriye Hafiza,
Mm-hmm.
died. And arrangements were made for Holy Wednesday on the 19th because uh, we having Great and Holy Thursday liturgy, so we did it in the middle of the
Mm-hmm.
week. And me and my wife and other people came early to the church. Smith and Carnegie were handling the funeral. We were that time on 16 in Pennsylvania. St. Elijah was located on 16 and
Right
Pennsylvania.
down there, close. That's within 5 miles
Yeah,
or so,
yeah.
4 or 5
And
miles.
the body is already in the church. Women were organizing uh, to have prepared for uh, the condolences that will be extended to the people. They have coffee and other things.
Mm-hmm.
So I was sitting in my chair. My secretary, Lucy Downing, came early, about 15 minutes, 15 to 9. So I was already there by 8:30, and we're sitting in my chair, trying to just collect my thoughts for the
Mm-hmm.
eulogy. Uh, I heard this big sound, explosion like, and I was sitting, and my chair flipped backward. I
Yeah.
screamed, and I thought maybe it was an explosion because we have a big kitchen and we use gas.
Yeah.
So we ran everybody to the kitchen to find out if there is any problem there. We walked around. There's no problem, no smell, no fire, anything like that. But we were wondering what's going on. So my wife went outside, and I went outside. There's nothing in the sky. But as we are walking around the church, we began to see smoke uh,
Yeah,
ascending
just a plume.
to a
Yeah,
point where we were standing. You could not see the sky anymore.
yeah. You were real
We came
close.
back 2 miles
2 miles. Yeah.
from downtown.
That's how big that thing
So
was.
we
I was 30 miles away and I heard it. It woke me up.
and and we turned the radio on, and the news was there's explosion downtown. They did not know where the explosion was, which location, but it's downtown. Now, we were our minds what's happening downtown, but we having to do the funeral.
Yeah, right, right.
So the bombing took place around 9 o'clock, 2 minutes after nine,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
according to the timetable.
Yep.
And although we were in the funeral, conducting the service and eulogizing and taking the body, all of us were anxious to see what's going on. And as we drove in the car, we asked Mr. Kernicki to turn the radio on. And they said, eh, this is the bombing is around the Alfred Murrah
Mm-hmm.
Building, Federal Building. Uh, well, in that area, we have people from our church who have restaurants,
Mm-hmm.
delis. In fact, we have a couple by the name George and Mary Cochran lived in the high-rising building
Right across the street.
behind. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yep.
And so everyone, يعني on the radio, statements were made that this is a terrorism. It is Middle
That's
Eastern
yeah.
background.
That's the first thing I
Began to
heard. Yeah,
accuse
was that it was a Middle Eastern. Yeah.
Jordanians and so forth and so on.
Yep.
It was very horrifying experience. So after the funeral, when we went back to the church for a gathering, and really I want to glue myself to the
Yeah.
news,
Right. Yeah.
and like everybody else,
Mm-hmm.
and finding out it was the Alfred Murrah Federal Building that was bombed, where approximately 168 people, young and old, got killed, among them 19
Yeah. Lots
children.
of kids. Yep.
I don't know how many hundreds were injured and wounded. Uh,
A lot. I didn't look it up, but I
House
remember it being a lot. Yeah.
buildings, over 200 or 300 buildings destroyed or affected by the bombing. It was a chaos, like a war
Mm-hmm.
zone. So after the funeral, we want to take a ride downtown. All the roads were blocked, but we were glued to the TV because now uh, people began to think, uh, accusing A and B and
All right.
C. And I received a phone call uh, from a parishioner saying that we need to have a policeman coming to guard our church. I said, absolutely not.
Yeah.
There is no reason for this to bring the attention to people to us. What we have to do with
Yeah.
that? I don't know who did it.
Yeah. Being a Lebanese
And
community like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
well, we have the Lebanese community, you have the Islamic
Mm-hmm.
community, you have the Pakistani community, the Jordan community. There are people from Middle Eastern backgrounds, and this has brought sense of inferiority complex.
Mm-hmm.
Everything pointing to uh, bad things happen in America to
Right.
be an Arab from the Middle
Right.
East, which is unjust, unfair. Um, Finding out later that the analysis about what his name, Timothy
McVeigh. Yeah.
McVeigh, he is the one who did it with his friend,
Terry Nichols.
and huh?
Terry Nichols.
Terry Nichols,
Yeah.
and they estimated like over 4 or 5 thousand pounds of explosives
Yeah. In that Ryder
that
truck.
destroyed
Yeah.
the whole section, and it was very sad, a tragic event in the community, brought everybody together to work, to pray, to help the wounded, to remove
The rubble, digging them out,
people of the
digging people
rubble.
out. Yeah.
It was, and our church people have volunteered, providing food, like Ned Shadid Catering and Richard Murad and Blanche David and others, and then we have lots of doctors from Saint Elijah, and nurses volunteering their time to go and help everybody in the midst of this horrible dark days. Everybody try to do what they can to uplift the souls before them and to help somebody, because lots of death and lots of grief, lots of people wounded. This is in the heart of America, and it is really amazing to see this. So uh, I, as one of the clergymen, with my brothers, the clergy in town and ministers, will try to give consolations. We have a lady from our church. Her name is, maybe you met them. They come to church. Susan and John Wilson.
Mm,
Susan is the brother. His name is Paul Ice, and he was special agent to the Treasury Department.
okay.
He was killed.
Really. Hmm.
He left two daughters and a wife behind him. Mickey Holmesy, which you know,
Oh yeah.
Mickey.
Mm-hmm.
Mickey's supposed to be in that building. His office was not too far from, about maybe 1 mile or so straight west. Um, he was supposed to be going to meet the client uh, in that office. If he was just went there, he
Right.
was delayed 10
Mm-hmm.
minutes. Was that 10 minutes? It would have been other
There
people
were lots of
that
stories like that. I remember.
other people, other people, uh, no other people. We were concerned about George and Mary Cochran. We were concerned about Blanche David Delhi,
Mm-hmm.
down, because that's in that area. And we began to do what we can to help, to counsel, and attend funerals from this church to this church to this church to this church.
Yeah.
So the now is 30 years ago. It's just like
Yeah.
yesterday
Right.
happened.
I can remember. Yeah. I remember everything. Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
couple, maybe 2 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
I took my grandson, Philip, my grandson, Noah, to Lake Hefner. Next day, which is the 20th,
Mm-hmm.
more information began to be revealed, and later on, about the one who had done it and those who have collaborated with it. So we decided, me and Sharon, to go and buy lunch from on May Avenue. Went to McDonald Hamburger,
Yeah, yeah.
and we went to Lake Hefner and sat down around the lake. And I said to Sharon, "I have extra French fries. Let me give it to the ducks." You know,
Right.
so I started feeding the ducks. I enjoy watching the ducks. So then we went to a new area. If you, I don't know if you've been at Lake Hefner, but you know they remodeled the lake, and they had a nice area to walk where the flag
Yeah,
is.
you're talking about on that south end where they put where that big playground is and that big point that goes out into the lake. Is that what you're talking? Yeah.
Yeah. As you go north,
Mm-hmm.
to the lake, it is
Yeah.
just in that
Mm-hmm.
area. So Sharon was walking ahead of me, and she started reading, because this is for the first time we see images of President Roosevelt and
Mm-hmm.
Eisenhower, and there were statements were uh, written there for people to reflect, important statements. And so Sharon read a statement that caught my attention. And in those days, I wrote it and I kept it. And every time we have people visiting St. Elijah, uh, our family from our town, we take them to the lake and we make sure that they read, especially this is what I have had my grandson Noah read it,
Mm-hmm.
because I want to teach my grandson about the presidents, about statement, about events. And as we were approaching to the anniversary, it's always April
Yeah.
19. I remember
Mm-hmm.
that just like my birthday.
Right.
So whoever did this wonderful work, selected a paragraph from President Eisenhower writings or lectures
Yeah. A
or
speech or a
speeches. He
quote. Yeah.
said, and quote, America, he said, America today is just as strong as it need to be. America is the strongest nation in the world, as she will never be defeated or damaged seriously from outside. Only Only American can hurt us from within.
Yeah.
And it is
So
true.
true. Yeah. Right.
Even if you look
Current
today,
events. Yeah.
current events, who is hurting America?
Mm-hmm.
It's not China.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's not England.
Right.
It's not Mexico.
Or Russia.
We are creating our own
Mm-hmm.
problems, and so uh, there was a we attended many funerals, by the
Yeah.
way, but there was a national day, Memorial Day, was held downtown in the arena, and President Clinton was there. uh, Governor Keating was there, of course, the mayor and many
Mm-hmm.
others. The place was packed. What effect the hand affect the
Yeah.
body?
Right. Right.
And we have people from our church been affected. People in our church try to help heal the wounds, support and financially on health wise and volunteer and food and so forth and so on. But we made a point collectively as Orthodox Brotherhood in state Oklahoma to say, we are part of this nation, we are part of the
Mm-hmm.
city. Um, about a month later, we have heard that Jesse Jackson, Reverend Jesse Jackson,
Yeah.
was coming to town.
Right.
He was that time leading the Rainbow
Right.
Coalition, and he knew some people from our community in the leadership, and they had the luncheon at Junior's Steakhouse.
Mhm.
Okay, and I went there. Of course, Father John Salem was the youth director. Michelle Musallam was there,
Mhm.
and Marty Farha from Wichita. Four of us were there at this dinner, a luncheon, with Benny Humsey and Sam Humsey and the elders, Naifi and whatever.
Right.
And it was expressed that we were not part, we want to share our expression and our sympathy, offer our condolences. So Jesse was coming to have a memorial in Dale City in an Afro American church.
Mhm.
And he was kind enough to invite me to join the group to go to that church for the memorial service. And he said, just you follow me. And so now we are following Jesse Jackson. That's a story with Jesse Jackson
Yeah. Right.
by itself because it's really, I mean, it's
Yeah.
hilarious. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I never, okay, there will be other
Right.
time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I will do it to the next segment
Yeah.
because really it needs to have its own spirit,
Right. Right.
So anyhow, we're able to go to the um, memorial service, express our sympathy and condolences, and offering our prayers. And at Saint Elijah we held services, for the departed ones, because we and we start looking for George Cochran and Mary Cochran. After 1 week, we found them. We brought them to our home, took care of them till they were able to have the permission to go
Right.
back. Uh, so after 30 years, every time we have visitors, we take them downtown, we take them to the museum. Still, you feel the hurt and the pain when you see pictures and you see articles of kids and
Yeah.
babies.
I've
Um,
never been down there. I've never been to the memorial. Never been.
and the city had done a wonderful
Yeah.
thing, having that memorial with the chairs over
Mhm.
there, with the beautiful water
And the pool. Yeah.
pond. It's in honor of those who have died. But out of the ashes, Oklahoma
Right.
resurrected. In those days, if you remember, nobody even will look at
Yeah.
Oklahoma downtown. Everything was so cheap.
Yeah.
Everything was just nobody even
And that, yeah,
many
it was
empty
business. That's
building.
it. Yeah,
And
it was just big business down
but
there. Yep.
after the bombing, out of the ashes there grew a new life, a new beginning,
Yeah.
a new aspiration for the community, the leadership of the community, the devout people, the government. And look what we have downtown. I mean, so
Yeah.
you can even rent a room. It's
Yeah.
very busy, very active, and the progress. But I took my grandson Noah to remember this incident
Mhm.
and to read what, and that is true. Jesus came to his own, and his own rejected
Mhm.
him, crucified
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
So I pray to God that um, He will have mercy upon us all and upon those who love their ones who are still wounded and affected all their lives,
Right.
children, wives, husbands, cousins, families. The only thing we can do to be watchful from the intruders,
Mm-hmm.
be cautious, and defend our nation and be blessed. We are blessed to be in this
Mm-hmm.
place and this land called the land of the free. But still, I believe the devil is working to destroy it. It's not going to be from
This is
outside.
true. This is
I
true.
believe what Eisenhower
Yep.
said. It is from
From
inside.
within. Yep. Yep.
I maybe on the next segment I'll tell you what I had in
Yeah.
mind. But anyhow, this is what happened. Uh,
Yeah.
Sadness, tragedy, and this will bring to remembrance again. Although we are not living 16 in Pennsylvania, we are on 150th,
Mm-hmm.
and May is still, when it comes to April 19, I could feel myself flipping
Yeah.
backward.
Yeah.
And luckily, you know, it didn't affect me, but it lots of people
Yeah.
have been wounded and hurt
Yeah.
by it. And so we pray for God's mercy and God's comfort
Yeah. May their
and
memories be
strength,
eternal, right?
as we say, memory eternal. Memory eternal. May their memory be eternal. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us spread the word about the show. So, for Father Constantine, I'm Theodore, and we'll see you on the next episode of Faith of Our Fathers podcast.